Leroy McElroy was known among his peers for having a strange hobby of collecting outdated candy. Well, information has been released, and now he's got a new strange hobby: murder. On July 22nd, it was found that Leroy had killed 8 members of the softball team known as the Challengers. I'm Charles Franklin, and today we're going to be discovering the motives behind Leroy's acts of violence.
Leroy was an ordinary boy. He enjoyed sports such as golf, baseball, and even tennis. Some would call him a sports fanatic. At home, he had a very stable lifestyle, with a caring mom, an honest father, and 2 adorable little sisters.
While Leroy's motives are still unknown, psychologists believe that he felt lonely in his life. This isn't the first murder case where someone around his age has felt lonely and killed people for the softball team. Mario Fernandez, famous for his chicken pot pie and killing the entire outfield of the Seattle Crusaders. Then you also have the cases of Marco Howard, Spanish immigrant, who killed all the catchers on the Miami Bass amateur softball team. Lastly but not leastly, Frank DePaul, famous for killing the entire outfield of the Cleveland under-23 amateur softball team. It seems as in this young man's case, they feel like they're getting back at the world for taking out their anger on the softball team. Interesting study, if I may say myself. But we need more facts to back up this claim. So, let's head to the research lab.
We sent some of our top researchers on Murder 101 to go and research this interesting case with Leroy. What they found was shocking and breathtaking. They examined his life, his hobbies, and his school and social life. The researchers were even able to find old text messages between Leroy and his acquaintances.
Now we deciphered the text between Leroy and his mother, Delilah, and we found some interesting discrepancies. Firstly, Delilah was informed by her son that Leroy was out with a couple of friends. Now this has been proven to not be the case. Secondly, Leroy said he'd be home by 6, but that was a lie, because the murder took place at 5:35 p.m. So, where was Leroy when he sent this text? Well, our top sources of the FBI and CIA believe that he was watching the softball practice from afar, a distance, and he grabbed a baseball bat as his preferred weapon. Lastly, he did not arrive home at 6 o'clock, like Leroy had planned. He arrived at 8:30, covered in blood, after a relentless 2-hour chase with the local police. After looking more in depth into our friend Leroy's life, we found out through his mother that he had experienced about 5 years of social neglect, from the middle school to the high school. Now this is most certainly a very large contributing factor as to why he killed these people in the softball team. It's been proven that throughout these softball killings, they all seemed like they were, rejected by the majority of the people in the schools. Could this be the reason why he killed them? I certainly think so.
While the research into Leroy's case hasn't given us a solid, concrete motive, we certainly understand that there were factors that led to him murdering the softball team. Mainly, Leroy was a social outcast. He didn't feel well liked. He wanted to be the cool kid. He wanted to be the man everyone liked. But he could not achieve this accomplishment because no one talked to him. They excluded him from parties, even refrained from walking in the same stairwell.
Well, that's a wrap for our show. However, this event could have been avoided. Leroy McElroy, killed because he was a social reject, felt like he was alone. Didn't really have a purpose, did he? Here's my message to my viewers tonight. If you ever see anyone getting bullied or getting excluded from a group, make an effort to include them, or at least talk to them. Be very nice, because you never know, they could turn into the next Leroy McElroy. Well, folks, I'm Charles Franklin. I'm gonna go to bed now, so see you in a bit.